Right next to me is the person who brought us all together, who made this the Super Happy Funland. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Brian Arthur, and I am the co-founder of Super Happy Funland in Houston, Texas.
And my name is Josie Jimenez, and I'm a third year student at U of H, and I am a Houston native. So, let's get into the questions. I'm very curious about this place. So, first, I guess, when was the building built?
This building, it was built in two different parts. The first part was an ice house, and it was just this front part. We're along the railroad tracks, so back before they had refrigerators, people would keep their ice in, or they would buy big blocks of ice to keep their food cold, and they would get them off the railroad cars, and they would have like places like this that would sell blocks of ice, and besides ice, they would sell things like eggs and milk and cheese and also beer. And so that's how the term ice house became known as like a bar in Texas, is because they would sell beer. And so that was, I think that was like the 20s is when they started doing that. The rest of the building was built in the 50s, and it's been a lot of different things. When we moved here, it was a cash register repair facility. We moved to this location in 2008. Before we were here, we were located in the Heights for 5 years. We opened in March of 2003. So this coming March will be our 22nd anniversary.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, that's really cool because, I mean, I didn't know it was built in two separate times. That's...
Yeah, and but like when we first moved here, I looked up the building on Google by the address, and I found some like really neat old photos of the building. And then since we've been in this location since 2008, and have had like hundreds and hundreds of bands and performers, and so now if you search the address in Google, you won't find anything except for our performances. So
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I did not save those old pictures, or I did, but it was on an old computer, so I don't have those old pictures anymore, and I wish I did.
Yeah. So you said that you had a previous location. Was it like the same type of thing, like collecting and venue?
It was, when we opened up, I'd been running a small coffee house in the Heights, that was at Yale and 11th Street, and we had an open mic on Sundays, and we were getting people coming for the open mic. But before that, I ran my parents' sports bar. I owned my parents' sports bar for 3 years while my dad worked overseas, and so I had some experience with that, but it was mainly we were looking for a studio where we could do kind of art and music, and we were making sock puppets, or it was sock monkeys actually, at that time. And we were doing puppetry with our sock puppets, and it's like, so we wanted a place where we could put on like puppet shows, and then we were thinking, yeah, we'll find a studio someplace, and then maybe we'll have like some open mics there or something like that. And then we saw advertised it had been a gay theater. It was called the Ashland Street Theater. And then before that, it had been a church. Like it actually had just been a church. Then it was a gay theater, and then previously a church. So it was like a gay theater sandwiched between two churches. And it was a really big place, and the rent was not much more than renting a studio would be. And so we're like, okay, it's like we'll do that, and then we can have some shows sometimes. And but when we first opened, like we were doing it primarily to focus on our own art and music and puppetry and different different projects like that. And we had, like, the first month we had like 2 shows, and then the next month we had like 4 shows, and then the month after that like 8 shows. Like, it kept on, and all of a sudden, like, all these bands wanted to have shows at our place all the time, and so we kind of got like taken over by that, and we did not have as much time to work on our art and music as we wanted, because we were just we started doing these festivals where we would have like 70 bands play, and that was like the South by Southwest Overflow Festival, and we just became a music venue, and so it kind of happened. And this was in our first location was in the Heights on Ashland and between 26th and 27th Street, and you can still find the building was featured in the Houston Online Architectural Digest, and it was featured as a classic bungalow style building, and it was a really neat kind of building, but it was about a third of the size of this. So that building was 1,500 square feet, and this one is 7,500 square feet. So we have a lot more, and we were having shows there with up to like 300 people there, and it was like really packed in, and so then we were like wanting to like expand and like go bigger, and then we were renting there. The owner of the property he tried to sell it to us, but we didn't have the money to come up with it, and so he sold it to a real estate developer. And the real estate developer was like, okay, you have like 3 months to move, and so we were like, okay, I guess we gotta get out of there now. And that's when we found this building, and we're really happy. We loved the old location. It was like really cozy, and we got a lot of support from the community. People really liked it, but this, we had kind of outgrown it, and now they tore it down, and now it's all condos. When you go to Ashland and 27th, it's like, we just had like hundreds of shows there and like really great performers, and now it's like, people are living in their condos there.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, Houston has a really rich history. That actually goes into my other question, which was like, what attracted you to the East End? Like, was it kind of just like, oh, this building's for sale, or was it like, I like the East End because of the culture and the history there?
We looked at different locations. We looked downtown. We looked at some places by where Last Concert Cafe is, but the warehouse district really did interest us, because there were like a lot of really big warehouses. When we came in 2008, there weren't. It wasn't. It's getting more developed. Like, they're coming, bringing condos in the area and stuff. But it's there's still a lot of empty warehouses in the area, and the rent was cheap. And one thing that we really liked about this location was, at the old location, we did have some noise complaints from the neighbors, and we spent a lot of money soundproofing the old location, which we got this stuff called Homosote, which is like a sheet of it's compressed newsprint, but it looks like a sheet of plywood, and you put it between two sheet, or you put it up on the studs, and then you put your drywall over it, and it acts like a shock absorber for the noise. And it was a really cost-efficient way to soundproof the building. So we got less noise complaints, but we were still getting some noise complaints over there. And so one of the criteria for picking the building is that uh, it is by itself, and so it's not connected to any other buildings. And it's also, the railroad track is right there, which is very loud.
Yeah.
And so since we've been here, they built like condos right across the street from us, but the condos are also right on the railroad tracks. And so in order to sell condos like right up against the railroad tracks where they're blowing the horn and having the train go by, they have to like really soundproof those condos,
Yeah.
and so they can't hear us. And so we've had since we got here in 2008, we've had a couple noise complaints, but those were when we had outside performances. Like we haven't had any from an inside performance.
Okay, that's good.
And we've had some really loud shows here too. So.
That's good. We live in the East End, and we spend most of our time in warehouses
Yeah.
because a lot of shops, a lot of coffee places, are a lot of vintage stores. And there's a warehouse right next to you that they sell clothes in bulk, and yeah, gotta love the East End.
So yeah, it's an interesting neighborhood because we're in Harris County, and Harrisburg was here before Houston, and it was kind of discovered by the Harris brothers, who came up what we call the Houston Ship Channel is it's Buffalo Bayou, I think it is, where they came, and they went to Allen's Landing there, but they settled in Harrisburg because it was like higher than the rest of the city was swamped. So we're in like one of the oldest parts of Houston right now.
Yeah. So you already answered when you purchased the building, and you also answered that one. But yeah, was this like the plan to collect items and fill the venue with items, or?
But both myself and my partner Olivia Dvorak has been my partner since 2003. We were collecting things before we started Super Happy Funland, and that was part of the idea of Super Happy Funland is that we were really interested in dolls and soft monkeys and different vintage toys. The collections kind of like really have grown. You get the way one of our collections starts is, if you have like a doll or something like say Olivia had a metronome, and it's like this old vintage metronome, and then we were at the first store, and it's like, oh, there's a metronome, so I'm gonna get it, and then all of a sudden you have two, and then you have a collection, and so you get more and more, and so it's like so many different items, like the barbershop heads. It's like I started with just like one barber college head. I started with one, and then I saw a second one, and I was like, oh, it's like, I haven't, it's like, and Olivia got mad at me. She's like, you're not gonna start collecting those, and it's like, oh, it's too late.
It has begun.
And so now I have over 100 of those.
Oh wow.
Olivia does the dolls. She's been collecting dolls for years.
I love dolls.
Yeah.
My favorite one is the clown one right there. I'm obsessed with clown dolls.
So that's a separate collection. The clowns, and then the dolls. The sock monkeys are over here. Raggedy Ann. So those are a kind of doll, but we consider this a separate collection.
So who collects the clown dolls?
Both of us,
Both of you guys?
yeah, and I mean we both collect, all kinds of dolls, but those are mostly, she's really good at finding the old vintage ones.
I'm very jealous of her, honestly. It's really hard to find like really good condition. I'm into porcelain dolls. Those are pretty hard to, at a good price range.
Yeah,
at least.
they're very fragile. They break. Yeah.
I'm obsessed with them. So how many years have you been collecting for?
Well, like like this since 2003, but I mean, we had some, you know, collections of different things, but you know, not not like this. So.
Yeah, this is amazing. I came in here as a collector myself. I was like, oh my goodness, this is heaven. Yeah, I knew I had to do something with this place. It's
Awesome.
beautiful. So you and I talked about this when we met, but how do you get your hands on these items? Where do you get most of your stuff from?
So we go to thrift stores a lot. I'm on the Value Village VIP list, so whenever they have a 50% off sale, I get an alert on my phone and we go out there. We go to a lot of garage sales. A lot of the stuff, like almost all the furniture, I have found on the side of the road, like just like beautiful pieces like this, and then just be like dumped out on the side of the road. I've got a pickup truck. I'll put, you know, all the couches are like these carpets I just got recently, and you know, it's like a carpet in a music venue. It's not, especially if it's a white carpet, it's probably not going to last that long. But then
It adds
you know,
character.
you know, it's like, well, we're recycling it, and then once it's used, then you know, it's like we'll recycle it out. So, but then for our collections, a lot of people will come in and they're like, oh, Raggedy Ann's, I have one of those in my attic. Do you guys want it? And it's like, yeah, come join the party.
Yeah, I was wondering if you take donations.
We do.
That's really cool. Approximately how many Raggedy Anns are behind us?
It's over 300.
Wow, 300 Raggedy Anns. Which one's your oldest Raggedy Ann?
You would have to ask Olivia about that. She is the one who, and maybe you could speak to her for a little bit too after
that'd be cool.
we get done. So she's kind of shy, but she'll probably come talk. She started the collection, and actually she started just collecting the Raggedy Andes, and she's like, oh, you know, it's like I see Raggedy Anns all the time, but I want to start a collection of Raggedy Andes. And so she had built up a collection. She had about 20 of them or so. And then I started buying the Raggedy Anns when I saw them at thrift stores. And she's like, no, we're collecting Raggedy Andes. It's like, well, we're doing them all too. Yeah. So.
Well, you kind of talked about this. You really like the Sloth Monkeys. You're really into the barbershop heads, and your partner's into the dolls. But what is your all-time favorite thing that you have collected, and could you show us?
Okay. Well, right now I am really happy with my my holiday collection. It's mostly Christmas, but it's also Halloween mixed in. I've got some Thanksgiving stuff, so it's like, yeah, this over here.
Show.
And so these big light up pieces, they're called blow molds, and I didn't know this when I started collecting them, but apparently some of them are like really valuable. Like they'll sell for up to $300, and almost all of these I have found on the side of the street. So people, after Christmas, they'll be putting up their Halloween decorations or their Christmas decorations, and they're like, oh, this one's getting worn out. I don't want to put it back in the attic, so I'll just leave it on the curb, and I'll drive it. I also deliver pizza late at night, so a lot of times when I'm driving around different neighborhoods and stuff, I'll see these, you know, things like, you know, to me that might have been a donation there, but that's just amazing that it still moves and stuff too. So, and I don't know how old that one is, but you know, some of these are pretty old, like from like the 60s and 70s.
I see some 80s.
Yeah,
I
so-
also really like these. I've been wanting some, looking for them, but they're really hard to find and they're really expensive, like you said.
Yeah.
My favorite ones are probably those and the little snowman.
So I couldn't believe I found her last year just on the side of the road. I was like, no way.
She's so pretty.
This Santa Claus, like he was sticking out of a garbage can, and it's like, and I just saw like the top of his legs, and his legs are on a separate, like he's pretty broken, but like I still think he's like really neat, and he's like fits into my collection.
Sounds like a really big teddy bear. Where did you get that teddy bear?
That was a friend of mine, Militia. She passed away last year, and her brother gave it to us. She thought that he thought it would be appropriate.
And you still have her here with you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
nice.
then this one here is my best friend and bandmate actually passed away here, and so like that he really likes sitting in that chair, so that kind of represents him.
That's so cute.
So yeah, the teddy bears are, you know, people say the dolls are haunted and stuff, and it's like I don't. And they'll say they're creepy. I don't think they're creepy. Like they don't feel creepy to me. But I see why people say that, you know, movies and stuff like that. But to me, like it's more like sentimental, and that's how I feel like about all this stuff is like, you know, kids would play with it and you know you know, Christmas memories, and then people just throw it away, and it's like it's like I get those memories and like, you know, put them together. So.
I had another person who is a vendor in an antique store mention something about quantum physics and how basically saying that the memories that these things hold never really die. So yeah, I really like that. I'm also really into dolls too, so I also don't think it's creepy. My partner thinks it's creepy, but he's just gonna have to live with
Yeah,
it.
we have like a haunted YouTube channel came out and did the you know, the haunted Raggedy Anns and stuff, and then there was a cooking show that did a YouTube cooking show, and they came out and filmed a Halloween episode of their cooking show here, and it's like, you know, that's fun, and we do have a lot of Halloween stuff as well. You know, but I personally don't think it's scary, but
No, it's not. It's very pretty.
you can see like some of the stuff that, you know, it's like it's the stuff gets really brittle when it's old, so some of them get cracked up, and that's why people throw them out. But some of them are just like really beautiful pieces that, you know, it's like I don't know why someone would throw it out, but they do.
Some people are very picky, you know, like, oh, there's some
They just want
discoloration.
something new looking, which, you know, if you look at the newer stuff, you know, to me it does not look as good as this old like vintage stuff. It's you know, I guess when these came out, people were complaining about, oh, that's too commercial, having like plastic Christmas stuff. But to me now, it looks like really quaint and old, and the stuff now looks. But I guess in 20 years, I'll think that stuff looks like, oh, look how old and neat it looks now. So
I can't describe how I feel about antiques and vintage items, honestly. They're just like, they're so unique. The quality is way different. We don't see that anymore. Clothing as well. So yeah, I love these. I took photos of them last time.
let's see. Here's this is a smaller collection. Like I was finding a lot of this Ringling Brothers stuff in thrift stores, and I haven't in like several years. But it's weird, like the things that, you know, we barely ever find Raggedy Anns anymore. Like we used to find them all the time, and they just stopped. But we are finding lots of baby Yodas these
Baby
days.
Yoda.
Grogu's, and then I didn't have the Star Wars display. We did, like, my daughter was really into the Baby Yoda, and so we got like a bunch of them, and so we had that as like a Christmas display at our house. But I didn't have it out at the venue until someone donated this piece here, and it's like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have this display all our Star Wars stuff now, and so that's when I made this.
I was like, this is new. I haven't seen this Baby Yoda yet. How old is your daughter?
She is 14 now.
Oh.
Yeah, and she's grown up with all this stuff, and she says she is not going to take over.
Oh.
So that's she rebels by dressing very normal, and wears kind of neutral colors and stuff, and it's like a friend of ours called us the Munsters because like Olivia and I look kind of eccentric, and then she looks just like a normal kid. So
I love that. My parents are very normal, and I am not. So I get it. There is so much to.
yeah, so this over here is my cardboard collection. So the giant robot was in. He's been in the Art Car Parade twice. This past Art Car Parade, we won first place performance in the Art Car Parade, which they have 300 cars in it, so like all artists and stuff. So we were pretty proud about that, and we got money too. So we're
Did
actually,
you guys make that?
Yeah, I made it out of cheese boxes, which we get a lot of cheese boxes from the pizza. That's why I saved all this cardboard to instead of throwing it in the landfill, we make art for. That's what so you see the back of the dolls display. That's made out of those too. You could probably make a whole house out of these things.
That would be fun. That would honestly be very fun.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever heard of Southmore House, but that's Dave from Southmore. We actually did a whole cardboard art parade, and we had about 150 people came out for it, and everyone like made cardboard costumes, and we like marched down St. Emmanuel and stuff. That was funny. But I like the idea of encouraging people to make art out of recycled items.
Or what people would call trash.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
This couch here, this is beautiful. I don't know why it's like I just got tired of it, I guess.
You showed me this couch last time. You had just gotten it recently.
This carpet looks brand new to me. You can tell on the bottom of the carpets, like they'll have stains on the that you can see through on the bottom, and this one like looked like it was brand new.
I can't. It looks new to me.
Yeah, my cat loved it.
Yeah. So last time we spoke, you told me that you live here. So I was wondering, how is it sectioned off? You live back there?
Yeah, we
Okay.
have private studios.
Oh, okay.
So this is the Sock Monkey collection, which this is how Olivia and I started collaborating together. Is that she was making these sock monkeys and sock creatures. A lot of these are like old vintage ones, like they've been around since the 50s. But she was making her own like she would make like different creatures.
Is that her? She make that one?
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly which ones of these she made. I know she made this. Did she make that one? No. We have a lot of them. We have in the back too. No, she made this one here. It's a really nice one.
Yeah, I was looking at that one. That one's really pretty.
These guys I made.
I
So-
really like the little lamb. Is that a lamb or a mouse?
This one? This one
Mouse.
is Thomas Ratterson.
I
And so-
love him.
Yeah.
That's really cute. My partner and I were really into rats. So.
And so yeah, with that's we were making them, and then we had a website that was selling them. This was like 2003, so kind of still early days of the internet, and that's when we started doing like puppet shows with them. We had an art show at this venue called the Axiom, and that's we just decided we wanted a place to kind of try to expand, but yeah, we kind of got sidetracked when that happened, so we didn't get to work as much on our art as we wanted to.
But this is a form of art.
It is.
Yeah.
I see, just my life as kind of my artwork now.
It is. Yeah, it's kind of the main point of this project is just the collaboration of different forms, different mediums of art, like collecting, making your own cardboard items, theater, like music. This is all a form of art. And there's history in every single one of these items and in this very building. So yeah.
There's an interesting thing we got out recently. This was in a dumpster by the police station on Washington. It's a bunch of Gucci boxes and Louis Vuitton boxes and Chanel boxes. And so we're not exactly sure what we're gonna do with them. Like they actually sell the boxes on like eBay and stuff. Like I've seen them go for up to like $50. But we were thinking that we would use them to make. I was thinking is like maybe like notebook covers. Like I've seen people like make like notebooks out of different papers and stuff. So having like a Gucci notebook or something that would be kind of. Let's see. These are our trophies for there's the art card trophy. This one and that one.
Which two? This one?
Yeah, and then that white one's actually too. The same one.
That's really cool.
I think that one's from a chili cook-off. We do different kind of events. But it's always fun for us to do stuff outside our own venue too.
Yeah. So I was wondering about Flaky's Pizza.
Yeah.
So my question was that always here? Or was that like a
No,
newer thing?
we opened Flaky's in 2012. I would get a lot of people asking for food when they come here for shows, and I'd have to like send them down the street. Or we would order a pizza in, and what kind of inspired me to open it was there were some good pizza places that were delivering here, and then they stopped. Like one of my favorites was called Gotham Pizza. They delivered here when we first got here, and then they said, oh, we don't deliver there anymore. And the same with New York Pizza downtown. And so it's like, okay, we can't get anything but Domino's here. So I'm gonna, and then that's 2012 is when like food trucks like started to get really popular and stuff too. So I just decided, it's like we'll jump on the bandwagon and make pizza. And so
I heard your wings are really good.
They are. I'm proud of our pizza, our New York style pizza. We make our own dough, our own sauce, and it actually supports the venue. Believe it or not, we do not make a lot of money at Super Happy Funland, but we work on the pizza truck to help pay for it. And that's part of the reason for that is that we don't pick our shows for the show is going to make us a lot of money. We want to be open for the community, and so that's kind of like a subsistence kind of existence there. So we kind of break even on the club.
Yeah. I love these dolls. That was the first thing I saw when I came in here. So this is a question asked by my friend who also came here. She was wondering how or where did you meet these underground artists to perform here? Was it you kind of advertise it? Did you go to them?
I never do any advertising.
That's what I saw.
And I mean, we've been here for a long time. People come to us. I don't really go out and look for people. Sometimes the people who have been putting on shows here regularly, I've been like, hey, it's like trying to fill out like a weekend in February. You guys interested in a date? But it's like I don't really actively go after artists. We've had several famous artists who have performed here over the years. People with Grammys and record contracts and all that kind of stuff. And they just we have an online presence, and to see other performers that performed here, we're just on that list. So
it's really cool. And we kind of talked about this when I last saw you, but are you aware of the impact you've had on the queer community? This place has connected so many of us.
I am. Actually, we are really grateful to Outsmart magazine. They when we first moved here in 2008, we had gone for 5 years in the Heights, and we never had any problem with permits. We didn't have any permits over there, and it was in a residential neighborhood, and we had all these shows where police would come and stuff, and because we get noise complaints. So and no one ever asked us about any kind of permits, and so we're like, okay, we're going to move into the warehouse district. They didn't bother us in the Heights, so they'll definitely not bother us here. And we were here less than a month, and the fire marshal came in for permits, and we didn't have them. And so we're like, okay, we'll go try to get the permits, and we found out it was really expensive to get permits, and there's a really long process. We had to hire an architect, contractors, and submit plans to the city, do all the stuff, and we had to do fundraisers. And during that time, we were closed. We weren't able to have shows here, and so Outsmart was one of the organizations that helped us. They allowed us to do a fundraiser in their offices, and we're really grateful to them. We still get their magazine here, we are have always been a place where we're open to people expressing their ideas, and have definitely presented ourselves as a safe space for people to any kind of performance that they want to do, or culture. We used to have a lot more political events here like in the past, maybe 5-10 years, we haven't had as many as when we first started. We would host a lot of kind of political fundraisers and different alternative kind of things, like Earth First would do things like those are the people who like do the tree sitting in the redwood forest and stuff like that. We do like benefits for like animal rights activists and things like that.
Well, thank you so much for your time and for everything you do for the community and the queer community. We really appreciate it, and also for the bringing in a lot of art and culture to the East End.
Thank you very much, and I really appreciate your interest in what we're doing here.
Thank you. Thank you.